what did Denver have to raise or allocate for the pilot phase of STAR?
So our pilot phase for 1 year is just over $200,000, about 208. We're actually under budget there a little bit. We had included in our budget a part-time substance abuse navigator, a son, in there. We have found that the mental health clinician and the paramedic, that dynamic of two individuals really has proved very beneficial for our team, and we want to continue there. So we're actually just a little bit under $200,000 a year for one van. The data to get us 7-day-a-week coverage for all 78 neighborhoods in Denver is right about that mark where the mayor, council, and Caring for Denver work to create or to expand about $3 million for this program. That should, in 2021, get us the coverage that, if needed, anywhere in Denver, somebody could request the STAR van or a STAR call for service come out, and we would be able to handle that.
Sarah, Tim, can one or both of you talk about, thank you, Chief Hayes, and talk about the funding of Cahoots and Eugene?
Sure, probably both can. When we started back in 1989, it was very small. Started around about $100,000, maybe 189, somewhere in there, and it has expanded over the years. I think right now our sort of ongoing budget is around $800,000, and we added a couple of hundred a year ago with some one-time dollars that we've carried some of that forward. So we call it close to $1 million a year of investment. And I think all of us think, how do you scale that up in a way that's really sustainable? And I think that's front of mind for all of us.
Tim, you mentioned savings from doing this program. Can you quantify the savings from Cahoots?
Yeah, like I said earlier, when we're looking at our impact on our non-emergency medical responses, we see this profound savings to the emergency room and to EMS by diverting folks from those resources. We've been able to quantify that at right around $8 million a year. And we have, I think when we look at that, what's even more impressive is that almost exactly half of that is savings to Medicaid. So that really tells me that, those who would be least able to afford these bills, those who are being most impacted by economic circumstances are also the ones who are, most likely to benefit from having that Cahoots interaction.
I'm going to ask you, Tim, if you can expand on the Medicaid part of it. There is a question in chat regarding reimbursable via Medicaid. Mm-hmm. Can you talk briefly about the mechanics of that a little bit for us?
Yeah. So when it comes to reimbursing our services, the way that Cahoots provides care as first responders doesn't really lend itself well to a fee-for-service model. When the wind is howling, it's pouring down rain. It's November here, and here in Eugene, it's going to be 40 degrees and pouring buckets for a while. When we're in those kind of circumstances, we shouldn't be worried about getting that social security number, getting that policy, that group ID, so that we can then go back and bill. I think that we're very, very fortunate that the city of Eugene values this program enough to fund it outright. When we are able to have that positive impact by saving Medicaid money, we've been able to go back to our Medicaid partners here in the community and say, look, we are saving you money. How can you recognize that that impact, and to that extent, to support our services, we see a per member per month wraparound service payment that Cahoots receives every month from Medicaid. We use those dollars to go directly back into our support of the community by really making sure that we have supplies on our vans to really empower our neighbors to make it through cold and rainy nights, to have the option to get some food, to meet some basic needs.
Any other sources of funding you want to talk about, Tim? One of the great questions in the chat
Sure.
is, we're hearing these numbers. Eugene allocates just under $1 million. Mm-hmm. You said it costs about $2.5 million to run the program. You got Medicaid. Where else are you reaping cash?
So we also receive funding from the city of Springfield, where we have services, and Springfield makes up the other half of our metro area. But in addition to funds from the city of Springfield, actually, in order to support those services, we also receive grant funding from the state.
Fantastic. Sarah, you invest just